Welcome to Retrobot, the YouTube channel where we feed a friendly space robot a diet of pure nostalgia. I'm Clay, and tonight we're talking about little bots made bigger through the magic of knockoffs, and big bots that become smaller. And so that's right, it's small fries and big little guys. That's a little bit of a mouthful. I had some trouble there. I'm sorry. I'm gonna try that again. Tonight, we're doing. Okay, another take. Tonight we're doing. I'm in case anybody's missing it, I'm doing the bloopers reel version of the intro. So that's right, it is small fries and big little guys tonight, and we've got a quick show and tell. So I wanted to show off that we have Masters of the Universe Faker, and he looks awesome. When I was a kid, I didn't get Faker. I just didn't get the whole thing. Why is he blue? It's because Skeletor. But it's like he's supposed to be a copy of He-Man, but he doesn't look like He-Man. He's blue. But it's like half Skeletor, half He-Man. He's got the Skeletor armor remolded in orange, and he's got Skeletor's blue skin. And I'm gonna try and show this. Let's see if I can do this. He has also got. Come on, take your harness off. Tina, eat your steak. Come on. Okay, so now this is okay for TV. All right, it's just a harness, and he's got his computer panel chest, which I guess was a sticker in the original, and now he's got a legitimate computer panel chest, not like yours, pal. So, you've got some things in common with Faker here. I honestly don't know if Retrobot is happy about that or not. Now, I thought that Faker was created, through magic, but I guess he's maybe part robot. Maybe he's a cyborg. I don't know. The lines of technology and magic were very blurry in Eternia. So yeah, we got Faker here. We also got, okay, so this is cool. Once again, huge shout out to D&E Collectibles here in Pittsburgh, in Sharpsburg, right? And because they've got their big bin of cheap stuff. And lots of action figures that are missing parts and stuff like that. Just a huge bin, and I'd recommend that at any place that you're going through a giant bin that everybody else has their grubby little hands through, hand sanitizer. It's not a bad idea. But nonetheless, I found a Mysterion. This is the same Mysterion that I had to kind of put back together because for whatever reason I had kind of scavenged him for parts way back in the day. But he is in beautiful shape. Really excellent shape. And yeah, you can see his compass head. Well, maybe you can't see his compass head. There's his compass head, and the colors are really nice, and there's no broken pieces. He is missing his star maps, but we made some extra star maps when we were refurbishing my other one, so he will get star maps. But I'm really happy to have my guy back. I mean, that's really cool, and and of course I'm really happy that I put my other one back together, but now I've got two, and it's great. And I think that they might have given me this with the other stuff that we purchased. They just kind of threw it in for free, which is awesome because they are fantastic. We also this week got in a big box of, now let's see, this was a different pre-order, right? So we got Hot Rod for the Studio 86 series Hot Rod, and we got, let me try and get it. Oh boy. I've got lots of stuff here and not nearly enough room. So we also received Studio 86 Blur, Studio 86 Cup, and Studio 86 Jazz. And so that's really exciting. We will probably be doing some short circuits reviews on these guys coming up, although right now we are in the middle of our series on the Just Toys Dino Robots Dark Retribution Black version gift set, and I think that part 2 just posted yesterday, maybe yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday, and then part 3 will post on Monday, and then part 4 the Wednesday, and then part 5 is going to be the following Monday. So, you know, there's going to be a little bit of lag time between now and when we get to these guys, but yeah, that's going to be cool. And so, speaking of Studio 86, I was thinking about this just because, of course, you know, we have Transformers the movie from 1986, and this is the first time that the Studio series has been about the Gen 1 Transformers characters. Every other one has been part of the Michael Bay universe. And I got a comment this week from a viewer named Ronald, who is actually had recently looked at the stream Try Not to Hate the Bayformers. And he very eloquently just kind of expressed his view that it's, you know, when I talk crap about Michael Bay or specifically the movies, that he feels like I'm inadvertently insulting the people who grew up with those movies and enjoyed those movies and got into Transformers because of those movies. And you know what? He's right. That's not fair. I look back on the Gen 1 cartoons that I loved as a kid, and I've been watching them, especially when Dawn comes to visit, and it's after a live stream, and we're kind of winding down, and we go up on which is the service that has those? Tubi? Is it Tubi? So we'll turn on Tubi, and we'll start watching, especially some of those season 3 episodes that we don't remember that well. And honestly, the show that I'm in love with is not that good. I mean, I'm just gonna say that it's, in my mind's eye, it's much greater than a lot of the episodes. Now, there's some things I think are legitimately awesome, but there's also a lot of stuff that's just not that great. And so I wanted to just throw out that to Ronald and to any fans of Michael Bay's movies, I am sorry that I offended you. I don't have anything against Michael Bay fans. Actually, I like Michael Bay's other movies. You know, Armageddon is great. The Rock is one of the greatest movies ever made. And really, I was fine. Like, I wasn't happy after the first one. I can watch it, and there's some stuff in there that I love. But you know, overall, I just wish it were a better movie. Second one is, you know, not happy with the second one at all. Third one had some good stuff, had some bad stuff, but once they got to a fourth, because I felt like after we got 3, we would be done. Because typically that's what you get. You get 3, and then director goes off to do something else. But then we got a 4th. And then we got a 5th. And by that point, I lost all of my patience. And it's like, no, I'm not gonna be kind or even reasonable about this anymore. This is crap. I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore. But understand that venom is directed at Michael Bay just for occupying the space that could have been occupied by a different director with a different vision. And it didn't even have to be a Gen 1 vision, but just a different... Yeah, I saw what he wanted to do. We saw it 3 times at that point. We knew where it was, and there was nothing more that he was going to bring to the table. So move on. And that's where my venom comes out. But it's not, I have complete respect for other Transformers fans, and there's a lot of different kinds of Transformers out there that all go in their different directions. And you know what? I'm actually fans of just about all of them. There's some that I'm not real well versed in, but like the Armada toys, very cool. Energon's one of my favorite series. Animated. A lot of people hated animated because it looked so cartoony, but I love the animated line. So anyway, that's just me. I'm sorry to Michael Bay fans. I didn't mean to insult you. So that's my statement. Anyway, moving on. I'm sorry. We have a lot tonight. Last week was Hope's birthday. And Hope was feeling a bit under the weather. Was it? Oh yeah, that's right. It wasn't Hope that was feeling under the weather. Oh, how I forget. So Monica got her wisdom teeth out. So we weren't here last week. I was thinking the week before she was under the weather. But no, last week was your wisdom teeth. And so I decided to spend the evening trying desperately to help my wife feel better, and I failed miserably. she just wasn't gonna feel good. So, with that being said, for Hope's birthday... Wait. There we go. Okay. So... Oh, my ukulele birthday, and a bucket of cake. My ukulele birthday, and a bucket of cake. Oh, my ukulele birthday, and a bucket of cake. My ukulele birthday, and a bucket of cake. Oh, my ukulele birthday, and a bucket of cake. My ukulele birthday, and a bucket of cake. Oh, my ukulele birthday, and a bucket of cake. My ukulele birthday, and a bucket of cake. So that was for you, Hope. I'm not sure that Hope's even on here yet, but Hope, I'm sure that you watch these live streams after they air and watch them from beginning to end. So I'm sure you'll get this birthday message. And so we got the cake. Okay, we got the cake. And so Hope, we're gonna Retrobot. I'm gonna have to wait here. I'm gonna have to adjust some things here. We've got buttons here. There we go. Okay. All right. So we have activated the time vortex circuits. And so what we're doing is we've got it now set up so that Hope will be able to view this live stream later and still interact with this cake and blow out the candle over the internet. All right? Yeah, this is some high-end stuff. It's patented. I'd explain it, but I don't want to give away any trade secrets. You understand. So, okay, Hope, get really close to your monitor. And, all right, ready? Go! Yay! All right, Hope. And here, I'm going to pass you your cake through the internet. There we go. Okay, you got it? You got it. All right. Hope got the cake. And, honey, can I have a piece of cake also? No, not... That's... Yeah, there we go. Okay, there we go. Okay, and this is a completely different piece of cake. So, this is because the other cake went through the internet, so you see how that works, right? Anyway, so happy birthday, Hope. Oh, it's lemon cake. That's good cake. All right. So, there we go. Happy birthday to Hope. Happy Hope's birthday to me because I got to have some cake. And so, before we get started, it seems like we've been at the before we get started to say portion for a long time, but we've got one more thing, and it's important. I've got to toast everyone in the chat. And I seem to have a little glass here, but that's all right. So, a toast to Rob S, who logged into the chat 24 hours in advance. That is a new record. So, a toast to you, Rob S. It's quite refreshing. And of course, Don, because Don was on the chat really, really early. I don't even know if he's going to be able to join us for the rest of the stream, but he was there, and he gets a toast. A toast to Dawn. A toast to Joy, the first person that I saw here in chat after other people had already been here. A toast to Collini. We miss you, Collini. Come and visit. A toast to Starhound! Starhound is in the building. Except not this building. He's in a building somewhere, I assume. He could be, like, out in a park on his phone. I don't know. Starhound, I hope you're in a building. Toast to Starhound. A toast to Connie, Nathan, Lyric, and Cadence. And each of you gets your own toast. So this is Connie's toast. See, that was a good one. A toast to Lyric. A toast to Cadence. And of course, a toast to Nathan Fillion. And a toast to Hope. There's Hope. Hey, Hope, did you enjoy your cake, Hope? I hope that you enjoyed the cake that we just gave you over the internet. I'm sure that you got it, Hope. Just act like you did. Act like you did. That's the only way this bit works. Just pretend that you got the cake. Pretend. I hope. Is she gonna? Okay, yeah, okay, and she's saying hi to people. Say that you got the cake! Anyway, okay. So, anyway, a toast to Hope. You know, this kind of emptied out pretty quickly. Can we, you know what, do we have maybe a knockoff manufacturer that we could send this glass to? Let's just send that to a third-party manufacturer and see if we can get a new version of the drink. That's perfect. And there's even copywritten logos on the glass. That's what third-party companies seem to be capable of. So there we go. Oh, and Hope got the cake! Woohoo! Yes, she got the cake. Oh, and look at that! So, Retrobot even has his own little Retrobot. Oh, that's adorable. Yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, so, and of course, a toast to Monica, who does just a ridiculous amount of work to make these live streams happen. So everybody, please toast Monica with whatever drinks you have available. And if you don't have one, then here, wait, let me give you a bottle of water. There you go, and you've got your bottle of water, and that's now you've got a drink. A toast to Monica. And a toast to Retrobot and his Retrobot. how many bots had a Retrobot bot if a Retrobot bought Retrobots. Yeah, that's right. That just happened. So, as you may have picked up, tonight's theme is all about small fries and big little guys, and our drinking word for the night is Minnie. It's Minnie, because her name's Minnie Mouse, but it's just Minnie. It's not Minnie Mouse. But yeah, if I say Minnie, then I'm gonna drink beverage, and so I said it like 14 times. So so there we go, and here we go. We've got some small fries and big little guys. And, you're getting screen flicker. Oh, geez, I'm not seeing it on my end, but, oh wait, I am seeing it. Oh, that's, and that's weird because it seems to be happening on the regular camera. Well, and it says we've got an excellent connection. It's not a network issue, so usually caused by electronic interference. Okay, let me do this. And I had a charging cable connected to my computer that was also connected to the TiVo. So yeah, we've got our TiVo with a little Retrobot. We'll see if that fixes it. You know, maybe it getting music and being connected to the computer was doing a thing. All right, so. And Hope says, "Love you, Monica. Here's to you." And she toasted she toasted. So yeah, we love you, Hope, and we hope to see you soon. All right, so getting back to small fries and big little guys. So this is a complicated subject because there's of course official smaller versions of big guys and bigger versions of small guys, and then there's the wild and wacky world of unofficial, unlicensed knockoffs, KOs, whatever you want to call them, which gets into all sorts of craziness. And so we wanted to start out with Gen 1 Prowl. Gen 1 Prowl is a great example of this phenomenon because we got Gen 1 Prowl here. And let me just move these guys off to the side here momentarily because you deserve to be able to see what Gen 1 Prowl is all about. And this was actually Don's. And he kept it in excellent shape. You can see that the plastic is starting to yellow, sadly. I will see if I can do some retro brighting on that this summer. One of the channels that I watch, Retro Recipes, did a lot of experiments with retro brighting, and also 8-Bit Guy did a lot of experiments with retro brighting, and it seems like putting these things in direct sunlight, like really bright, of course, Retro Recipes, he is in California. And 8-Bit Guy, I think, is in Texas. I'm in freaking Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I don't get good sun. And so the best sun that I will get is in the summertime. We're not quite there yet, but I will try to get these guys. I have had limited success, but it wasn't with good summer sun. So I'm suspecting that if I have some better sunlight, maybe I can have some better results. Nonetheless, if you get past a little bit of yellowing on the doors and the shoulder panels, which are the fenders of the car, the rest of him looks really, really good. And he is a quintessential Gen 1 Transformer. In fact, he is so quintessentially Transformer-y that his face is the inspiration for the Autobot logo design. So let's go ahead and we're going to transform him so that you can refamiliarize yourself with the transform of Prowl. You can open the doors. You can pull the base out. Are we still getting interference? Ah, that is unfortunate. I'm gonna keep going, but we're gonna try. Retrobot, what I need you to do is I need you to reset your processors to figuring this out. So if Retrobot just starts to stare forward, it's okay. He's just downloading his consciousness into our other electronics and trying to fix them. So thank you, Retrobot, by the way. So all right, you pull out the back end, you flip up the back windows, you pivot the back end of the car down, and now we can spread it out. There we go. And then he's got, let's just call this a cod piece. He's got a cod piece here that's on a lever, and it comes out like that. And then it allows you to swivel at the waist. And then he's just got this, yeah, just, it's part of the transform. I didn't do it. I didn't invent it. It's just, that's just how it works. So, and thank you, Joy, for kind of going back and forth with Monica and helping her to see what works and what doesn't. So it's working now? Oh, great. So then you pull the arms out from underneath, which I always thought was a very clever move. You know, leave it to Takara. I mean, even back in the day, the stuff that they did was just fantastic. You know, really, really innovative designs. And so now you have the shoulders. Now you just kind of reposition the arms. And I'm going to kind of tuck them in a little bit so that he has decent looking shoulders. And we're going to rotate this arm around and do the same thing here. So there we go. So here is Prowl in his robot mode, and we do have weapons for him. But you know, really, I'm going to leave the weapons off because the other versions don't have the weapons. So, you know, like they didn't make weapons for him. So we're going to kind of do an apples for apples comparison here. And let's go ahead and just set him on. And that is what his feet look like. His feet look great. Doesn't that look awesome? I guess I could, you know, change the view of the camera. So let's just slide that out of the way. And boom. That is Prowl in all of his prowliness. And we'll get him in focus. Yeah. There. And so that is Prowl looking very, very Prowl-like. And he is a great toy. He was a great toy then. He's a great toy now. He just kind of a fantastic example of how to reimagine car parts as being robot parts. Yeah, the hood as a chest and the back end as feet. You know, this is what I always found really incredibly fascinating about Transformers toys, is that whole redefining what something is. And so of course, Takara later came out with their line, which all throughout, oh, and this is embarrassing. All right, I'm just going to own it. I got it wrong. Yes, I got it wrong. Yeah, chastise me. Thank you. He's chastising me. So, yes. Actually, yeah, okay. Thank you. He's consoling me. That you know, you're very supportive. I love you, Retrobot. I love you. So, anyway, I've been referring to the Takara line of smallest transforming Transformers as world's smallest Transformers. And apparently, World's Smallest Transformers is a fan term for smallest transforming Transformers. And Retro Robot Radio is here! So a toast to Retro Robot Radio! Welcome! We're doing small fries and big little guys. It's gonna be lots of fun. It's already lots of fun. So they have these tiny, I mean, these are like Micromaster size, tiny versions of the Gen 1 Transformers that transform. And unfortunately, all throughout the Dark Retribution Dino Robot series that's going on, like, has been going on this week, will continue next week into the Monday of the following week, I keep saying World's Smallest Transformers, when actually, no, that is not a Takara brand. Their brand is Smallest Transforming Transformers. I understand why World's Smallest is what people gravitate to, because, I mean, honestly, it's a lot easier to say, and it gets it out, and these things are so tiny. I mean, you know, I've seen larger Transformers branded toys that are just figures, and they say World's Smallest Transformers, like, first of all, that doesn't transform, and second of all, this is smaller. This is tiny. It's just little. It's a tiny thing. And here, I'm gonna have to show this here, because there's no way I'm gonna be able to transform this guy while reaching over that table in front of the other camera. So I'm getting really close so that the camera can focus in on what's happening here. This is smallest transforming Transformers Prowl. And you see, we're doing the same steps. We're opening the doors, we're pulling out the back end, we're lifting up those back windows, which have a little bit of a slot here that allow them to go up. Then you pivot that. You don't have to play with his nether regions now. You can just spin it, and you know, I personally feel a lot better about that. And then you've got the arms. Once again, they did the same thing with the arms as in the other version. See how they're kind of nested, and there's even little tiny nubs that the fists stick into. I'm gonna try and get this is the hardest part of the whole thing, is just getting these things out of here. So, I need tweezers for this thing. Oh, almost got it. Almost. Okay, I'm going to try maybe pulling on both of them at the same time. There we go. Okay, so there we go. I separated them, and now I can pull them out. And now I can tip the hood forward. Let's do that, and have to be very, very careful because it is really tiny. There we go. We got his head exposed. And so there he is. Smallest transforming Transformers Prowl. And let's, now this I can show on the other camera. And this is kind of incredible. So here he is, and I'm gonna get him into focus. Look at that! Look at that! I mean, this, they made that! And you can see him in the background there. Wait, let me get my chubby hand out of the way. So, that's just amazing to me that they did that. And it works, and it transforms the same way. I mean, holy crap! And they did a whole line of these. I've got a little Optimus Prime. I've got a little Megatron. We're going to see those. They did a bunch. I didn't get a bunch because they're actually kind of expensive to try and collect. But you know, especially when you get Armada Unicron, and then you have a bunch of these to fight him, it's awesome. So, you know, you have these. And, so Retro Robot Radio says, I have the oversized KO WST prowl that I got at Big Lots. Oh my gosh. Okay, Retro Robot Radio, you're in for a treat. Because that is exactly what we have here. This is the oversized KO version, which I think we got at Big Lots back when you could get that kind of stuff at Big Lots. And so you'll see, this is the same toy. And oh yeah, we have one of the quick change cards. So, you know, they would have been sold, a lot of them on a card similar to this. This one had a bunch of oversized mini cons. So that's what these were. And we've got some of those to show also. But yeah, what I find just amazing about this is that what they did was they took the engineering from this and they scaled it back up to pretty much the exact same size as original Gen 1 Prowl. Because why not? You don't want to knock off Prowl? That would be hard. The engineering is complicated. There's lots of pieces, so go from a simplified version that's like that, and then once again we're gonna open the doors and pull out the back end and open those doors, and then we're going to tip the feet, and we're gonna twist at the waist, and then we're gonna pull the arms out, which are held in by the little nubs on the shoulders, and we're gonna rotate the shoulders if they will rotate. Come on, shoulders, rotate. Don't give me attitude, shoulders. Just rotate, shoulders. Okay, so see, one shoulder rotated. Now you other shoulder, you look at what your brother did, and you do the same thing. Okay, no, you're not an individual. You're part of a pair, and you don't get any individuality. So there we go. Okay, so, and then, bam, now we have, so, wait, here, let's put these guys side by side in front of the other camera. And we'll put this guy on and just take a look at the whole thing. So, there we go. That is all three of them. Let me see if I can get a better view here. There we go. And get them into focus. There. Look at that. Look at that. These are, I mean, they're... it's hilarious and kind of awesome. You know, if you missed out on Gen 1 Prowl and you saw this guy at Big Lots back in the early 2000s, then you were in for a treat, because now you had at least a nice analog. I mean, you can see he's obviously, it's super simplified, and the detail is almost non-existent, but it's hilarious and awesome at the same time. And so Asher and his father Mike are here, so a toast to Asher and his father Mike. Hi, Asher! So we were just talking about knockoff Transformers and like guys that got small and then got big again, inextricably. So yeah, this so we have our Big Lots knockoff that is a copy of World's or Smallest Transforming Transformers Prowl, which is an official kind of knockoff of original Gen 1 Prowl. It's crazy. It's just crazy. So yeah. Let's go ahead and let's move on from these guys, even though I love these guys. They're funny and they're fun, and they just fill me with joy. So I'm not going to transform that back because I don't have to. I had a bag. Ah, there's the bag. Okay, so here's my bag. And see, don't worry, Don. I've still got my weapons. See, I didn't lose the weapons. And we'll just put those in there. And very carefully set that in there. And then I have my little sorting box down here. And blam. So, let's talk about some guns. You want to talk about guns? I want to talk about guns. Because guns are the rights of sentient people. I don't know. That's what Militia Prime is, quote. So, of course, Megatron, Gen 1 Megatron is notorious as a toy that we will never get again. A robot that transforms into not too far off of a real-sized and very realistic-looking Walther P-38. I mean, you hold that gun, you look like you've got a gun. You just look like you've got a gun, and that's something that poor Megatron has struggled with ever since. But every now and then, we do get other versions. So here, let's show these. This is smallest transforming Transformers Megatron. Now, just to give you some idea of the scale of this thing, this is the Megatron that came with 20th anniversary Optimus Prime. And wait, here, I'll take off the extra accoutrements so you can see. Okay, this there we have it. That's him. I'll get closer to the camera. And then there's world's smallest transforming Transformers version. They are so close. This one's a little bit bigger. It is a little bit bigger, but boy, that is not too far off. That is really, really, really close to the same size. And just that. And okay, this is a level of insanity here. If this is going to break your brain, because this breaks my brain when I think that somebody at Takara made this work. So here we go. We're going to flip the feet. The feet kind of flip down, just like original Gen 1 Megatron, and then the handle. Let's go ahead and just split the handle, and now we're going to pull that out from the side, and we're going to pull this one out from its side, and now we need to extend the leg. The leg does extend. I'm just being very, very careful. It's so tiny. It's just tiny. So, yeah, there we go. Okay, I extended that leg. You see that? And tiny, tiny pieces. Just oh, it's so delicate. So here we go. And there we go. So we have the legs. And then we can swing those forward to go around the trigger guard. And then we can pull down the head. And what amazes me is they didn't take any efforts to simplify the transform. That, to me, would have been the obvious choice, to just simplify the transformer, but still get kind of an approximation of the forms that we're all familiar with. But not the guys at Takara, and they are hardcore. So we'll split the back ends of the gun, which is where his arms are, and we will... And look at how tiny! I mean, that's just little tiny bits of plastic holding those shoulders on. And then, and see, I'm missing a little piece on that. A little tiny, tiny red piece. And I remember seeing it years and years ago, and it is probably long gone. Maybe sometime I can replace it, because it's just a flat piece with holes in it. There's no molded parts, so I could probably make a new one. What am I saying? Of course I can make a new one. I make new versions of stuff that's far more complicated than that. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna fold out the fist. So he's got a little rotating fist. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side. And yeah, right. I'm gonna there. Oh, I got it. So we got that fist out. I can't believe they even bothered with the fists. I mean, it is literally like 1.5 millimeters. So now we take the gun barrel and we pivot it sideways, and then we have the end of the barrel, and that is going to pivot down and go down by his side, and then we take the back of the body with the head and the arms, and we swing it up towards the chest. The chest does not expand. You know, the original Gen 1 Megatron had a chest that slides up and reveals his midsection. This doesn't have that. Oh my gosh, what, they didn't do that? Oh, worthless. Oh boy, talk about slacking. So here you go. That's sarcasm, if you couldn't tell. That was sarcasm. Amazing, just amazing. I swear, Takara is the masters. They are the masters, and they have continued to be the masters for decades. So there we go. That is tiniest transforming. Wait, maybe if I get my face closer, can you? Yeah. Okay, there we go. So that is tiniest transforming Transformers Megatron. I'm gonna put him on in front of the camera here. Come on, you can stand. You can do it, Megatron. There we go. All right. So and here we'll just slide him back. And no, stand up. Stand up, Megatron. Gosh, come on, Tina, eat your steak. Gosh, why are you so stupid? Just stand up on the thing. Stand up on the thing. There we go. Okay, there we go. We got him. And this, and oh, let's get him in focus. You can do it. Oh, look at that. You can see the squiggles. They got the squiggles. Look at that. Look at that. He's amazing. He is so cool. Oh my gosh, look at that. I mean, that is Megatron. That is Gen 1 Megatron. I mean, that's him. And he transforms almost exactly like the original, which the full-size one, back when I was a kid, original Megatron, he was hard. He was a hard guy to transform. And they did it at like 1/16th scale. I mean, this is just insanity. Look at him. Wait, let me try and get him. Oh, yeah, let's do that. So, they're a little bit more in focus. So, all right. Monica had a great idea, because Monica does have great ideas. There's Megatron, and there's a quarter. Okay? Just to give you some idea of the scale here, that's a quarter. And that is... That is smallest transforming Transformers Megatron. Just an absolute marvel. An absolute marvel of toy making, manufacturing, engineering, all of the above. It shouldn't work, but it does. And so now you remember I was talking about how if I were designing a small Megatron gun, I would simplify the design so that you still kind of get an approximation of the original robot and the original gun mode, but it would be, you know, just simplified. Well, this is Reveal the Shield. This is Reveal the Shield Megatron from 2010, and that's exactly what they did. And this is a very nice version of Megatron. It's small. You can have your larger guys hold on to, like a Combiner Wars guy. I think that you might, especially if you got the upgraded fists. You know, you get one of those upgraded fist packs that has the articulated fingers, and I think that they could probably hold on to this. And so, yeah, it looks like a gun. Does it look realistic? Not really. But it definitely. Oh, here, let's kind of let the camera. Come on, camera, you can do it. Come on, camera, you can. There you go. There's the camera, and so you can see how it's definitely a gun. You know, there's no mistaking that looks like his original handgun, and it's not super accurate, but it does the job. Oh, we have. Okay, so let's just try this. I have not tried this, so I don't know if it would work, but boy, this is kind of appropriate here. I can absolutely imagine Combiner Starscream built out of Seekers, which I really have to finish this kit bash at some point. But yeah, let's go ahead and put him in his hands. And oh, look at that. Look at that. Bam. Bam.
Pathetic fools! There's no escape!
Yeah, I think that Starscream's probably more excited about this than anything that he's ever experienced. You know what? I think it does. You know what? I think at this point, that absolutely does make Starscream the new leader. So there we go. Here, let me hand you supersized Starscream. Cameo from Starscream. And so we're going to show this. So the way this guy transforms, I love this design. I really do. I think I really respect this. You split the handle, but this time it's forward and back. And the legs just encapsulate the thighs like that. And you can see that they come like that. And then let's twist the legs forward. There we go. And then this is great. This is such a good solution. So the bottom portion comes out here, and that makes an arm. And then the barrel of the gun folds down to make the fusion cannon. And then the whole body is on this pivoting piece here that's got kind of a double hinge. This is also on a double hinge, so you can kind of pull that out like that. And it's all on a ball joint, so it moves around like that. And now we can close that down against the midsection. We can bend this arm down, and you see how the hammer makes his hand. You see what they did there? They just put a little thumb nub there. So he's got a hand. And then you flip up the head, and bam! It looks like Gen 1 Megatron. Huh? Huh? Yes, that's so cool. Let me put this on the camera. So, okay, we're going to try and move smallest Megatron over. And now we've got these guys, and boom. And so, and see, he looks good. You know, for a Legends class figure, now at some point I need to get rid of that ridiculous orange tip. And, you know, I'd actually, no, what I'd like to do, at some point I should get a second one of these. And then just kit bash it properly. Give it elbow joints. Yeah, he needs elbow joints. And he needs to get rid of the orange tip. But after that, I think that's all I would really need to do to him. So Joy asks, would it be more proper to say micro or mini? I see what you did there. Well, her name isn't Micro Mouse. It's Minnie. Thank you for that, Joy. A toast to Joy. That's good. It's fruity and fizzy. So yeah, so that is Reveal the Shield Megatron next to Smallest Transforming Transformers Megatron. Honestly, you know what? Takara is fantastic at engineering, but boy, they suck at names. I mean, it's Smallest Transforming. I feel like that's something that a lawyer came up with. It's like, okay, we have the name Microclone. Microclone. And it's like, no, it has to be smallest transforming transformers for legal purposes. So, you know, whatever. So, thank you for that. So, we also, so Megatron, for those who don't know, the original Micro Change toy that became Megatron was not the only gun that turned into a robot that Takara had designed. They also had a revolver version. I think they had a third version, but one was a Browning. Yes, there was a Browning, and so we got this this third-party guy, which is and we got this. This is another one from D&E Collectibles. So once again, second shout out of the night to D&E Collectibles. One of these days, I'm gonna get one of those guys to actually watch our live stream. It's gonna happen. Like, it may take years, but we will get one of those guys to watch our live stream. So anyway, this is Brown King, and there is a whole story about how Brown King is essentially the fart of Unicorn, the giant planet with one big horn, rather. Yeah, that's... But it's named Brown King, with... It has a poop motif. But nonetheless, it's a very cool little toy. And this is Brown King. And you can see that he looks a lot like Megatron. That, you know, he is very heavily inspired by that. But so he, yeah, I saw. So oh, we got him Master Shooter Collectibles. Oh, he was created by Master Shooters Collectibles. So, yeah, this is a third-party company, and I'm going to try and get the camera to focus in on him. Maybe? There we go. Yeah, okay, so he was created in 2010 by Master Shooter Collectibles. He is based on Super God Master Force Browning. And that is the inspiration, but I feel like he was probably a repaint of a Megatron toy, because you look at the details, and you know his chest shape, the midsection details. He looks a lot, you know, even the scope on the arm. I feel like he was a recolor of a Megatron inspired toy, and he has a neat transform. So you flip up the gun barrel in the back, and it has this piece which can come off, and I think that you can use it to attach it to another one of their third-party products. And then so you have, let's see, oh wait, here, okay, there we go. So then you pivot the body forward, you take the arms and kind of Superman him, and then you fold those like this, and now we can rotate the scope, and see there's another little hole in here, and that's going to peg in with this post that's on the other arm. So let's just get that to go on there. You know, I'm just going to take the thing off, and that makes it a lot easier to just peg it onto both. There we go. And then you take the legs and they fold here. And so you have this piece, and this just goes into the back like that. And see, this is like a 5mm compatible post. So, you know, any normal Transformers guy, you know what, let's see, what do we got here? I've got Chop Shop. And I'm just going to transform him real quick because I need a guy to hold him. I just need a guy to hold him. So we're going to pull the arms out of the back and do the chest here. And there we go. We flip the insect legs back out of the way. And bim, bam, boom. We've got Chop's Shop, the Deluxe Insecticon, or at least the reimagined version of the Deluxe Insecticon from Combiner Wars, if I remember correctly. And so he should, yeah, there we go. So he can now, you know, and see, I wish that more of the Target Master inspired guys were made with these kinds of transforms. This to me is really cool. Yeah, a lot of the Target Masters guys have these much more simplified, which that's pretty simple, but nonetheless, I really like him. So Mike asks, when did Megatron go from being a gun to usually a tank? And Gen 2 was when they did Transformers Generation 2. Megatron stopped being a gun. In Gen 1, he went from being Megatron to being Galvatron, which was a space cannon that also had a handgun mode that was never used in any of the media, not in the show, not in the comic books. At least none of the American comic books ever showed the handheld version of Galvatron. He was just a space cannon. And then in Transformers Generation 2, obviously by that point, the laws on toy guns and the culture in general had just changed, and the idea of a realistic role-play weapon was just not popular. And that was... So Gen 2 began in 1993. Also that's a good point. You've got a note on there. See, Monica provides me with notes, and that helps. So, and then I don't look at them because I'm looking at the camera, and she's like, hey, look at the thing. And so anyway, Action Master Megatron drove a tank, which, you know, he's not going to drive a handgun, but still, he drove a tank. And so, I would say that officially 1993 is when Megatron went from being a gun to being a tank, and would not really return to that officially ever. You know, we've seen every now and then you get an homage that will kind of, you know, reimagine him as a gun, but I think that at this point, most of the time, Megatron is going to be some kind of a tank. So, and the Machiavellic is here! A toast to the Machiavellic! So, yeah, that is Brown King. Brown King is, I would love to have the Megatron colored version of this. One thing I will say about this, though. We got this guy, and he is a third-party toy. The posts, the leg posts, the ball joints on the hips broke. They both broke. Completely. There were tears. I think that Don was here when it happened. And he was like, I swear I didn't... And Don didn't, okay? He wasn't using him roughly or anything. He was just looking at him and manipulating him, and then it's like, I don't think that this is right, and he hands it to me, and the leg is just hanging on, and the joints just kind of hanging there. So what I ended up doing is drilling it out and replacing the joints with a screw going the whole way through, and then building up balls on both ends of the screw out of super glue and baking soda to make a new ball joint, and then popping, and now that joint is nice and strong, so I don't expect that I'm going to have any more problems with it. But nonetheless, it is worth noting, if you end up in a position to buy a Brown King or one of the other, if they've got the other versions, just be cautious, because the joints are not, the plastic is not super strong, which is very disappointing. Tremendously disappointing, because he's such a cool guy with such a cool design, but yeah, was not happy that just kind of broke with very little provocation. So, being very careful not to lose bits. So there we go, and we're gonna put these in this bag. There we go. We got bags. When we got tiny guys like this, these bags are important. So, onward and upward. So that is world's smallest. No, not world's smallest. Jeez. We've got smallest transforming Transformers from 2004, Optimus Prime, bam. And I wanted to show him with the 1989 Micromaster Overload, who comes with a trailer, and that's this guy here. Let's go ahead and show these guys next to each other, because I feel like there's a lot of similarities here. And this to me is a great comparison, because it really puts, kind of drives home just how similar the size of the smallest transforming Transformers is to the Micromasters. And so here, let's, you can see that these guys are pretty much on scale with each other. And Overload does come with his trailer, which turns into a jet thing. But what I like about Overload is that this is a functioning car carrier trailer. So, like what you can do is you can open this up, and then you can put some of the Micromaster sports cars in there. You could get like 2 of them in there, and then you can have some other Micromasters on top, just like that. And that's actually pretty cool. So it's a very playable toy, and when I was a kid, I loved this guy. He was just awesome. So yeah, that's Overload. Let's take a look at, before I go into Overload, let's take a look at Optimus Prime here. And again, same scale as Megatron. Oh, his feet are sagging there. So there we go. This is his truck mode, and it's a good truck mode. He looks good. He's little, he's simplified, but he's dead nuts. A Gen 1 Optimus Prime flat front truck. He looks great. And I love the paint detail. The blue windows with the silver and the yellow on the bumper. I mean, they went all out for this. Now, he's not nearly as crazy complicated as Megatron. So let's go ahead and let's show him. We're going to, just like regular Gen 1 Optimus Prime, you're going to bring the legs forward. Now, Gen 1 Optimus Prime has a little mechanism inside his hips that as you bring the legs forward, it pushes them out to the side. This does not have that, but what it does do is it has a little flex joint here that allows the legs to spread on their own. And then it wouldn't be Optimus Prime if his arms didn't fold out from the side of the cab. And that's exactly what happens here. And then you swing the back of the truck truck cab forward to make the shoulders, and then you flip the head up, and boom, that is smallest transforming Transformers Optimus Prime. He's so cute! He's such a cute little guy. Oh my gosh, he's just a little guy. I mean, look at him. He's just a little guy. He's a little tiny. He's little and he's tiny and he's just, he's so cool. He's just so cool. So here, I'll put him on the camera over here, and we'll take a look at that. So there he is, standing tall and proud next to Overload. And let's go ahead and transform Overload. Overload is not really all that different. Now, granted, these guys do not share any engineering. Okay, this is not a case where one is a repaint of the other. It is completely new tooling for both toys. But the similarities are there. So Overload, just like Optimus Prime, his legs are on the underside and he has that pivot. Now, the legs don't separate in this version. This is, Micromasters were definitely simpler than the smallest transforming Transformers, but still, you had legs. They were fused together, but you had them. And then with him, you flip up the head out of the top of the top. There we go. So, I mean, he's a blue car carrier. If he had any white on him, it would be like, yeah, you know what? It's just Ultra Magnus. It's such a close analog. They really do look like they belong together. And just to show this, so let me take little Optimus Prime here, and I will turn him back into a truck, which takes seconds with these guys. Boom. You can actually do the with these guys. Not Megatron, though. You can't do it with Megatron, but you can do it with Optimus Prime. And so let me put this on camera, side camera. We got the other camera. So we got that, and then come on, you can do it. You can do it. There we go. Okay. So there we go. Optimus Prime can pull Overload's trailer. Look at that. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. That's always cool. It's fun to get your truck guys to pull each other's trailers. I mean, that's what the Kingdom Huffer is all about. The first thing that you do after you get that guy out of the package is you turn him into a truck and you grab your Optimus Prime trailer and you put it on Huffer. It's like, oh, I can finally do it. I can finally do it. So, it's a little bit dry. Osaka Jack is here. That's awesome. Hey, welcome, Osaka Jack. A toast to Osaka Jack. All right, so, and Osaka Jack says, Chandler on Friends once said, "I'll take that hotel-sized liquor bottle. Sometimes I like to hold my tiny stuff and pretend I'm a giant." I feel like I missed out on a cultural phenomenon by not watching more of Friends. Like, I knew of it, but I know that most people were, like, really, really into it for a number of reasons. One thing, you had Courtney Cox and Jennifer Aniston, and they're both hot. But, it's also funny, and generally a funny show. But I remember lots of people talking about who is getting together with whom on Friends. Did I do that correctly? I said whom. That's right. That's right, Internet. I used whom, and I used it correctly. So, mic drop. That was actually a bottle of Whiteout. My microphone, I'm not dropping that thing. Are you kidding? It's expensive. So anyway, we've got not Micromaster. We've got smallest transforming Transformers, Optimus Prime, pulling Overload's trailer. Let's go ahead and just transform the trailer, because the trailer's cool. So the trailer turns into a jet type thing for Overload, which you split it up and you fold the front section back like this. You have kind of a nose cone thing that folds out from there, and then you take Overload, and they made Overload so that his legs could swing forward and he could get into a sitting position. And then since he's got this little peg here, which engages the trailer when he's pulling it as a truck, you can peg that into the hole here in the base of the thing. There we go. There we go. And now he can sit here and he can fly his little jet, yeah? And you know, that's something that Micromasters had going for them. Because they were so tiny, you could give them vehicles of their own to ride in, and that's fun. That is fun. You know, and that's one of the things I kind of liked about Action Masters, actually. You know, the idea of Prowl riding a police motorcycle. I mean, how's that not good? There's no part of that that's not great. But except, you know, the toy itself. But aside from that, aside from the toy itself not being good, everything else about it was great. Ooh, I'm troubled by that statement. So, yeah, this was 1989 Overload, and just so I can show you, you can, it doesn't work quite as well, but since the back, you know, this back doesn't have to open, but they made it open so that it could function as a trailer, which, you know, kudos to them. Because they were making things pretty cheap by that point. I feel like the fact that they went to the trouble to have that extra panel is definitely a plus, because they didn't have to, and it seems like at that point, anything that they didn't absolutely have to do in a toy, they weren't going to do it. So I'm going to turn him back into a robot. And we just gotta, you gotta get them by the back of the elbows. And then you spread these. Now, so his legs don't go as far forward as Overload's. He does kind of tip forward a little bit. So, and the whole pegging in thing doesn't work quite as well, because it's really not, it's not spaced correctly. But you can kind of shove Prime in here and then do this. There we go. And then we have Prime riding in Overload's trailer jet, huh? Yeah. Now, of course, this toy didn't exist back in 1989. So, young Clay couldn't do that. But adult Clay can do it, because I just did. Whoa! Alright, so that is smallest transforming Transformers. Gosh, you know, why? Ooh, terrible, terrible name. Come on, Takara, do better. But that's smallest transforming Transformers, Optimus Prime, and Micromaster Overload. And while Micromaster Overload was never, well, actually in some ways he was made bigger, because the Micromaster with a the Minicon with a trailer that could combine with Transformers Armada Optimus Prime was Overload. It was big. That, sure, you know, we'll just drink to that. Oh, I said Minicon. Oh, got it. I said Minicon. See, here I thought that you were just giving me mood music. Because, you know, it was ironic. He was, and he was made big, and actually that toy was kind of cool. I mean, it didn't make any sense. You know, this giant trailer pulled by a Minicon truck, but the way that it combined was really cool, and the way that it combined with Optimus was also very cool. So, actually, right now I don't even remember exactly how it combined with Optimus, but I know it did, right? It did, didn't it? Didn't it, Internet? Didn't it, Rob? Rob knows. I know Rob knows. So, moving on. So, we've got, oh boy, this is where this is gonna be rough. Okay, because we're talking about Minicons, and so we've got the Land Military Minicon team from 2002, Transformers Armada from Hasbro. And, oh, darn it! Okay. It's in text. It's on the screen, right behind the camera. Oh boy. It's a good live stream, right? Tell me it's a good live stream. So we have Bone Crusher here. He is a single missile truck. And you know, like this is like a 16-wheeler or something. I mean, this would be an enormous vehicle, but it's a mini-con, and this is... Oh, you know what? I'm gonna stock these up. Somebody has to count, okay, through this next bit, and then we'll get all the drinking out of the way after I get through this. So it's a you know, it's a whatever a con. And so the question that I have is, does it turn from a little robot into a giant vehicle, or does it turn from a little robot into a little version of a giant vehicle? Like, do these guys turn into like remote control? I don't understand the concept. I know that in the show, Transformers would stick them on their arms and legs to power up, which, by the way, great gimmick. I love that gimmick. That's, I mean, you have little robots that transform into stuff, and you've got bigger robots that transform into stuff, and then when you've got the bigger robots, they grab the little robots and stick them all over themselves. I mean, that's just good. That's brilliant toy design. That's some good stuff right there. So you have Bone Crusher, the single missile truck, and he's got this, and look at that. You know, it even articulates. It swings around, and so you can aim it in any direction, and it's a cool vehicle. You know, let's, you know, I should put this on the other, I should have this on the other camera. So wait here, let me move stuff so that you can really appreciate him. So you've got this missile that goes around, and by the way, it's a firing missile. So wait here, let's just move this back, and now I need another toy. I'm gonna just choose something completely at random. Oh look, it's Jar Jar Binks. Hiya, boyos! So happy to be being here! Yeah, thanks, Jar Jar. And so this, just hold your place, Jar Jar. Oh, you want me to hold my place for the camera? Yeah, sure. And then you just push. Oh! So, the missiles, and this is such a brilliant mechanism. It really is. I have to admire the simplicity of making firing missiles that have no spring, no latch, no trigger. It's just that the missile pushes through the back, and when you push it far enough to get past the little clippy thing, it squeezes and snaps the rest of it forward. I mean, that is so good! That is so good! I don't know who came up with this. Rob S. knows who came up with this. He's actually read his biography. But I'm making things up. But I would love to know what engineer came up with that design, because it really is just a brilliant solution to firing missiles. You know, for the toy firing missile gimmick. I first saw it on Transformers Cyberjets. I thought it was brilliant then. They've used it plenty of other times since then, and you know what? It's actually pretty amazing. So, but yeah, so you have the little missile truck, and then the way that I love his transform. Okay, this is cool. So you just kind of unpeg. Is that a word? Unpeg? You unpeg the top, and you swing. You can even kind of swing this part forward, and you unpeg the back. And see, the whole thing is connected by a single joint that goes right through the middle, right here. And you're going to, once you've got things kind of spread apart so that it becomes a big plus sign. So there you go. You got a plus sign right there. And then you can twist the side of the front of the vehicle out that way so that the cab of the vehicle is now off to the side. And you can do the same thing to the back that has that boom on there. And now you pivot around and bring those together, and then you just twist the gas can, and boom, you have a little robot. Yeah. So let me just bring that forward so that you can see it on the side camera. And there he is in all of his blurry glory, but yeah, there he is. And he's a cool little guy. And I love that one of the arms is this articulated missile. Let's see. Osaka Jack says the designers on the missile were like, my house is a mess of small parts. No more. Give me neat toys. Wait a minute. Oh, really? Really? Give me neat toys? Oh my gosh. Oh, Osaka Jack. All right, so I've said mini like a dozen times now with Osaka Jack's help. So Monica says 3, and then I just said it another. So here's a toast to Osaka Jack. That was very well done. And then this is for saying, you know, that here I can point at her in the camera. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. There we go. All right, so if we ever get to the point where like we're going to conventions or something, people are going to come up with drinking words for me, and this is going to become a thing. I'm just looking into the future. I can see this happening. You know, you need like a fuel spout or something so that we can get you drinking too. So yeah, okay, he's in favor of that. You've seen what it leads to, right? Okay, just checking. So that's Bone Crusher. We have Knockout, not Transformers Prime Knockout. This is the Weathercon Knockout, and he is also a missile truck, and he's got a more conventional, which is weird. You know, you'd think that they just use the same mechanism, but he has got a more conventional spring-loaded thing. Let's go ahead and put this on the other camera. So there he is. And Jar Jar, how are you feeling right now, buddy? You know, I know that you weren't expecting, you know, to get shot. So how you doing? He's like, oh boy, oh me not feeling so good. Oh well, you know that's So that happened. And there you have him. And we'll just put this right back in here. So there he is. He's a cool little vehicle. I like this vehicle. He looks great. Again, this is a vehicle that would be huge. I mean, this would be like the width of the highway, and it would roll over other cars. but does he turn into that? I don't know. I don't understand. And you know what? Actually, earlier today, Monica and I were talking about this. It's like I don't understand Flivicons, and she's like, you know what? Maybe Rob knows. Maybe Rob can explain what the premise is there. But nonetheless, so with this guy, we're going to fold out the arms from the side. So we've got the arms there, and you can bring those down here. A very traditional transform. You bend at the waist, and that makes the front end of the vehicle into the body, and then you're going to bend the bottom half of the vehicle around to make the lower legs, and that works really well. And then this is something that's kind of clever. They have this thing so that when you bend it sideways, the head is attached to the gun, so bending the gun to the side and putting it on his shoulder reveals the head. And that's cool. I mean, that's such a great, simple solution to making a transforming guy and, you know, little robot character. And, yeah, he's got shoulder articulation, he's got a hip joint, he's got a knee joint, so, you know, you can get him into some different positions. But, you know, just a cute little robot guy. Let's you know, show him, and he looks good. You know, very very simple, but you know, you can't go wrong with little tiny guys. They do little stuff. So that is him, and then we've got Wreckage, the double missile truck, which has 2 of those, and should we do it? Of course we should do it. Of course we should do it. So if we had this sitting here, and hey, Jar Jar, hey buddy, hey, how you doing, Jar Jar? Me's not liking this show no more. Oh, well, I feel really bad about that. Hey, can you just hold on for a second and just stay? Oh. That, well, you know, that actually didn't seem to hurt him that badly. Oh, that was, well, you know, yeah, and I don't know if I'm ever gonna find both of those missiles again. Here's one, and I don't know what happened to the other. Well, he's got one right now, and yeah, we'll have to find the other later. So his transform is really, really basic. So the missile launchers are the arms, and they're going to come around to the sides like this. There's already a head on the bottom of the vehicle. This is probably my least favorite of the 3, just because it's just so, I don't know. I mean, that's him. He's fine, and I really like how when there's no missile in this hand, it kind of looks like a claw.
I lost a sigh.
He lost a sigh. Okay, so this one is Raphael, and but yeah, you can look at him. So he's so that's him. Yeah, he's a decent little guy, but not a whole lot of mysteries in how they made him work. You know, it's cool that he's got 2 of those missile launchers, but they weren't as effective against the Sith Lord Jar Jar. And for those who don't know, Jar Jar was a Sith Lord, and yeah, look it up. This is like truth. So there are the 3 guys. Now, you might be saying, okay, well, these are Flimicons, and what makes those special? Well, that's where that's where Big Lots comes in again. So here we go. We've got this guy. Look familiar, huh? And then we've got this guy, and then we've got this guy. Yeah. So going in the same order. Now, after years and years, this plastic has become tremendously brittle. Just obscenely brittle. And the weapons don't really work when I've tried. The weapons actually got stuck in the large version of Wreckage's arms, and when I tried to get them unstuck, they crumbled. They just completely crumbled. So unfortunately, large, and actually Wreckage's ball joints also just broke apart. So you can see I actually did a little bit of fix here. I've got a screw going through there that I have retrofit into the ball joint to give him a functioning shoulder. I was able to salvage this ball joint, which strangely enough, the one that I built out of a screw seems to work better than the one where I just was able to fix the broken joint. So go figure that. But the engineering, this is the same toy. It's just bigger and made with a little less love. So like we fold around the feet, and then you have this guy. Now this guy, actually his robot face is pretty good. Yeah, he's doing all right. Let's see if the camera can get him. Maybe. Hey camera, don't focus on Minnie. Don't focus on me. Don't focus on my shirt. Okay, my main camera is just, it's dumb. So here, let me go to the side camera. Oh, I said it again, darn it. Okay, well, let me move these guys out of the way. And so we've got this guy. And here, let's put his arms forward. There, that'll help him stay up a little bit. And then we can put him side by side with his smaller counterpart. So there we go. And you can see how the engineering is not exact, but certainly it's pretty darn close. It is pretty darn close. They have they've changed the face, kind of simplified some of the details, but a lot of the details are still there. So that is, I guess that's a Maxicon. Maybe it's a Megacon. I don't know. But oh, so yeah, you have that guy, and then let's go ahead and show this guy in his truck mode, and you can see that the joints on these are not super strong. It's hard for him to want to stay in truck shape. And it's funny that these ones are really cheaply made. You can, there's a lot of hollowness. The plastic feels brittle. Some of the joints are very loosey-goosey. Oh wait, here we gotta get the gas can there. That's a little bit better. That'll help a little bit. So you've got this that doesn't want to stay in the air. It's just very heavy. So these are really, really cheap. Oh, and Machiavellic asks, "Hey Clay," excuse me. Minnie, hey Clay, how do you like to open toys on blister cards? In my case, I just tear into it, and those who like to keep their toys in mint need to look away. Mint need. Oh, Machiavellic, et tu, Brute. All right. A toast to Machiavellic. Well played, sir. Well played. And of course, for Mint Knee. So I've given up on saving the packages from my blister card, guys. And I'm still very careful about how I open them, which doesn't make any sense. I'll very carefully peel it off, but I know that nobody actually cares. But my OCD requires that I answer the question anyway. So, all right. So yeah, we've got this guy, and I mean, he's a big version of a little guy. And in that, he is very, very cool. But the manufacturing on these three guys is so profoundly cheap. Just earth-shatteringly, plastic-shatteringly cheap. Nonetheless, the transform sequence is the same. So we're going to dislodge the back end here. And notice how he just flops. It's like, yeah, I don't care. I'm not holding my position. I'm just gonna. So that's how that goes, and then we're going to turn him into a plus sign. So we got our plus sign right there. It's like, okay, you know what? Wait here, maybe what I can do here is, and then now if I see a vampire, I can be like, the power of Christ compels you. The power that I don't know. So I was trying to do a thing. It's not a very good toy. But so you do the plus sign, and then you twist the body parts so that the arms are on the outsides, and then once again, I do love this transformation solution. And then we'll just pivot the head, and look at that face. That's quite a face. Yeah, come on, camera, you can do it. You can do it. Stop focusing on my shirt, darn it. There we go. Look at that face. That is some amazing face sculpting right there. He kind of looks like a toaster with eyeballs. It's the side of a toaster. Yeah, I just want to kind of push down on his nose and then wait for about 8 minutes for his nose to pop back up, and then I can have fresh, delicious toast. So yeah, they did not. I wonder. So here's the question. Because, of course, I'm very curious about how. I think that a lot of these things have existed just because Hasbro doesn't really want to bother with going to the immense effort of suing people into oblivion. Yeah, I feel like what they'd end up paying their attorneys is far more than what they lose by these things existing. Because honestly, if I'm a Transformers enthusiast, and I'm not choosing between these. I am buying this as a novelty because this exists. But if this didn't exist, then I don't even care about this because it's not that good of a toy to begin with. So maybe that's it. But I know that a big part of the protection is the copyright of the likeness of. It's not, the patent only lasts for so long, but the copyright lasts a lot longer. And so while they can patent the design of a toy and the transformation sequence and everything, and that will protect them for something like 15 years, the design on the likeness of the characters, that gets a copyright which lasts for something like 95 years. And this guy doesn't really look like this guy. It's not like he's got a toaster face. And nobody's nobody's writing action stories about Toasterface, the hero. You know, they might be writing stories about Bone Crusher and his role in the Unicron Wars, but Toasterface wasn't there. Okay, he was at home making toast, which a noble pursuit, I will say, but not the same league as Bone Crusher fighting Unicron. That's all I'm saying. So I don't know how that stuff works. But nonetheless, we have Toasterface. Cool transform, terrible face. But wait. Because it gets better. So we do have this guy. He also has a more traditional missile launcher. Oh, Jar Jar! Jar Jar! Hey, buddy. Hey. No, Misa don't wanna. Oh, Jar Jar, don't worry. This won't be so bad. It's just a little missile thingy. It's fine. Oh.
Ice Bear wants justice.
So that works. And can I reach the missile? Can I reach the missile? There. Okay, so we got the missile back. That's good. That's important. Ice Bear got justice. So really effective missile on this one. And once again, same as the other guy. Oh, good. You found... I can get it back! So Barrage has both missiles now. So with this guy, of course, once again, just like with his smaller counterpart, you pull the arms out of the side, you bend the body forward, you pivot the legs, and then wait for it. That's okay. So there's the head. Oh my gosh, that is quite a head. Let's just, I'm just gonna show that on the other camera. So there we go. Yeah, there he is. They really, I mean, talk about phoning it in. It's not so much a head as it is a plate. It's sort of, it's a Halloween mask. He's got a Halloween mask from the early 80s. Yeah, like when he goes out Halloweening, you know what he's playing? He's wearing a plastic smock with a picture of a robot on it, and he has that face. So yeah, that is. I don't feel like as much as everything else is just dead nuts. That guy. This is not competition. This is just not competition. So let's go ahead. Okay, I'm gonna set these guys aside. I think that I've abused them enough. And we've got this guy and this guy, and okay, we got a whole bunch of guys. All right, so there we go. Set those aside. And we've got some more cons. See, I didn't do it that time. And Rob S is like, I'm crushing your head. Get out of here, flathead. Nicely done, Rob. Thank you. A toast to Rob. All right, so let's these are something special. I'm not sure how special they are, but it's something. It's something special. So we've got the Street Flivilicon team. and from Transformers Armada in 2002, and then we also had the Race Con team from Transformers in 2002, and one member from the race team and all of the members of the speed team, the street speed team, were used for inspiration. Used for inspiration for some larger guys. Yeah, that's what we're saying. But I'm just a guy on YouTube. It's not my fault. Don't sue me. So we've got well, actually, let's start with this guy. Okay, this is Dirt Boss, and he is a Volkswagen Lupo rally car from the Race Flavoricon team. And his team would turn into the Cyber Shield sled, the Boom Shield Sky sled, the Sky Boom sled shield, Sky Boom shield sled. They turned into a flat thing that the Transformers could hold or maybe ride, depending on what you wanted to say was happening with them. But he's got a weird transform. I think mostly because of his combination feature. He kind of did weird things. So let's go ahead and let's show him. Actually, let's just show him next to his larger counterpart. So here these guys are. I'm gonna put them both on camera. And boom, that. I mean, I particularly like that the larger guy has a number 5 on one side, and then they just mirrored the image. They've got a backwards 5 on the other side. That's some attention to detail right there. So yeah, other than that, the colors are so similar. That's a really accurate knockoff. It is a profoundly accurate knockoff, and actually it looks really good. I'm not gonna lie, this looks like a legitimate toy on its own, and I never saw. Here's the thing about it: I never saw either of the other two characters in larger format, which, you would have thought they would have done all three, and then you've got the whole Sky Boom shield except big, and that would be cool, right? But I don't know if maybe it just never came to my Big Lots or what, but I never saw it. So let's turn these guys into robots. This is just weird. So I'm gonna pull the arms. So I'm gonna split him open. It's just easier to transform him with him split open, and then I'm gonna pull the front half of the car, and you can see how the leg. There's a little bit of a thigh joint here, and it's very, very short, so it doesn't really do a whole lot, but it does give him a leg. And then inside here, wait a minute here, let me get my little pencil. There's this. There's that little thing that you can pull out. There's this little strip of plastic that just folds around to give him a foot. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to pull that out just like that, and then I'm going to catch that with my fingernail and pull that around like that. And then I'm going to pull out the arms. There are arms right here and here. And then these things have to kind of pivot outwards. And they're tight, but there, you get them to pivot outwards, and you get it to pivot outwards. And now you just take everything and you close it back up. And like I said, presumably you should be able to transform him into the robot without splitting him open, but it's just harder. I don't know why, but it's just harder. So then you've got him like that, and you've got the head, which is on this thing, and it flips over like that. And so you got a little dude, and he is awkward as sin. He's just weird looking. He's, I guess, you could... I don't know, like his fists are sort of, it's almost like he's got dumbbells and he's pumping iron. It's like, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm lifting these weights, and this weight is 20 milligrams. And this one is 30 milligrams. Oh my gosh! That's a lot of weight for a con. And so that's his robot mode. Let's go ahead and show a bigger version of Dirt Boss. And you're looking at something. Things. Oh, okay. So let me show bigger Dirt Boss here. I'm gonna once again open him up. And I'm gonna grab the little stick here, and there we got this that's gonna fold out right there, and then we got the little short leg. This one's actually easier to transform. I think just because the scale is bigger, I can get my chubby man hands on the parts a little bit easier. And then we're going to pull that out and just swing this out towards the side like that. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side, pull that out and swing that out like that. And then we'll close everything back up and take this little thing. And he looks... He's so much... It's the same guy. It's the same guy. He looks like his smaller counterpart. He transformed... The colors are the same. He could use some better stickers with a little bit more attention to detail. But other than that, those are the same guy. And it's... There, we'll put them in the same position. So, yeah, that's Dirt Boss and bigger Dirt Boss, and that's it. It's like, and you can even take him, and even though they don't use any of the parts, so you've seen the parts that are used for the vehicle to robot conversion. So we could do this. And let's fold these in and fold these in and fold his arms in, and we'll leave the rest of him like that. And see, you can do this, and it's almost a thing on its own. Maybe it's like maybe this is like a third mode. That this could be this is almost a legit third mode. So, I don't know, but they left all of the engineering in there, which, if they didn't make the other two guys, they don't need these fins. They don't actually need this hinge here. So Monica says it kind of looks like a paper airplane, and he does kind of look like a paper airplane. Or, you can even, I guess that's sort of the shield type thing. But it's just funny how accurately they copied him, and presumably, I guess you could do this, if you want a minivan with shark fins, because if I had a minivan, I would absolutely want shark fins on it, because you know, if I have a minivan, I want to do something to make me not hate that vehicle. There's nothing wrong with a minivan. It's just, you know, people don't love, like how many people dream of owning a minivan? It's like, oh, you know what? I saw this minivan going down the road, and I thought, ooh, sweet. That's a good-looking minivan. Yeah, you know, get a V8 in there. Put a supercharger on it. Have flames on the side. Okay, now that actually sounds like a pretty cool minivan. now I'm gonna make a cool-looking minivan. So that is Dirt Boss. Oh, wait. I think I'm getting a message from my producer or my finger. Do you oh, shoot! Oh, no! Oh! I have just been reminded how many times I've just said the word minivan. Well, that was a mistake. That was a big mistake. Let's just finish this off, shall we? Don't do the crime unless you can do the time. That is tonight's theme. Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. Oh gosh. Well, that was a poor decision on my part. So we've got a Celine S7. This is from the Street Speed Flickercon team. I don't know why I'm trying at this point. But, so, this whole team, so they're made up of these little tiny cars. We got cool little cars, and these are really cool little car designs. I mean, you know, I really like the car designs. Wait, there. So, let's see if the camera will get it. Will the camera get it? The camera's trying to get it. No, the camera's not going to get it. Camera would rather focus on my shirt on the outer edges of the screen. So thank you, camera, for that. I appreciate that. Let's just put it on the side camera, and we'll put it there and aim this down. So you see these guys, and these are cool little cars. And I mean, they're all cool little cars. And they actually have really neat transformation schemes. But I feel like this is a case where the whatever cons were, these were some of the first ones to come out. And I think that they were still kind of figuring out what would work and what wouldn't. Because as cool as these guys look, for the most part, they don't work. Let's just take one guy here. So we've got Celine S7 Oval. His name is Oval, and he is a Celine S7, and he's got all these little tiny joints. So let's go ahead and we'll pull the back half of the arm or the vehicle, and that's going to make the legs. And then we've got the arms here, and they've got these little elbow joints that come apart super, super easily. And then you've got the body, and actually, I really like this transformation scheme. I mean, it's very nice, and I think that it's a cool concept, but his arms really want to separate, and I have to just very, very carefully, there we go, and then his head, so there we go. And see, he makes a good move. He makes a great little robot. I mean, look at that. Look at that. Wait, here, I'll put him close there. So you can see him. Okay, come on, camera. Camera, you can do it. Maybe? Nope. But you can read score 2512 really well on my collar. So here, other camera time. So there we have him. And he's got all these little tiny joints, and you know, I like what they tried to do. He has hip joints, he has elbow joints, and it's a great little transformation scheme, but trying to transform him and not have the arms fall apart is very, very difficult, and it makes for a really unstable little robot. And it makes the toy not very playable. And that's my biggest criticism of these guys. They all kind of have that feel. So this is Backtrack, and he is a Cadillac XLR, and whoops. And, you know, and again, he looks really good. You know, he's a really cool looking little car. And then we get to the transformation, and we've got the feet. They are on these little, they kind of pivot out, and you kind of pivot them forward like that to make a foot. And then we're going to pull at the front end. Maybe, come on, you can do it. Okay, I'm going to separate the legs first, and then I'm going to pull them individually, and that might help. So there we go. So we got that one to pull out. And we got that one to pull out. And then we've got the arms. And so we gotta get the arms out. Okay, so here, I'm gonna... Oh, something bad just happened. Okay, so here's what I'm talking about. I bent the back end down, and look, it pulled the arm apart. See, the arm is supposed to be connected here, but it just kind of came out. And then we take this, and see, that one just kind of came apart too. The arms are not, they're not good. And see then, okay, so the arms are on, they have to kind of pull out from the sides and pull up. So there, they do that. And I'm going to try and do this one. There we go. There we go. And then they come around like this. And this one comes around like that. And then once again, we've got a little bit of an elbow. But you've already seen that the arms would rather just fall in half than stay where they're supposed to be. And while I do really respect that they were trying to give us little posable dudes with little ball joints at the waist, and see, there goes one of the arms. It's in between the keys of my keyboard. Wait, here, I got it. Okay, there, good. Nothing terrible happened. So we'll just stick that right back in there. There, okay. And, oh, this guy has to swivel at the waist. See, there's a lot happening. Like, this has almost as many steps as a traditional Gen 1 Transformer, except it's micro-sized. And it just doesn't, it doesn't work. The pieces fall off, and he's kind of like, I got him. I got him. Here, let me show him on the other camera so you can see him. And once again, it's a great little robot mode. Don't get me wrong. It really does look great in its robot mode, but it's just so wonky that it's not fun. I'm more concerned with inhaling one of his appendages by accident because a stiff breeze will make it fall off. We've got this guy, and I'm getting a message from my producer, and I agree. So I know where you're going with that. And so we got this guy, and this is Spiral. And, you know, a lot of these guys, they're just throwing out names in Transformers Armada. That is one thing about Transformers Armada. Names, like old names that they wanted to hold on to the rights to, new names, they were just throwing out words. What was that? Oh, GoBot names. Yeah, you got some GoBot names in Transformers Armada. Yeah, you even got literally GoBot names. I mean, Leader 1, GoBot name. And they didn't... And funny, strangely enough, they gave it to the Megatron Minicon that was a little tank, probably because the little gray jet that came with Optimus Prime that literally did look like Leader 1, because they don't have the rights to the likenesses, they only have the rights to the GoBot's property, and I think the patents. I don't know. That's a weird thing. That whole thing of what they own and what they don't have the rights to with GoBots is, I don't understand it. So, and Osaka Jack says, okay, do what you're supposed to do. Falls apart instead. This Transformer gets me. Just saying. A toast to Osaka Jack. Thank you for helping me out. Losing my voice a bit. So here we go. So this guy, I'm trying to get through these, but they're so hard to do. So you have the back end, and it's going to fold around. And I'm not sure if that's really the best first step, but it wants to do it. And you have the sides, and this is kind of this is interesting, and it's creative. You take the side panels and they fold around here, and half the time they want to fall off, but I've managed to not have it fall off this time, which is good. And then that folds around, and once again we got that pulling on the legs thing, which has been a little bit problematic so far tonight. And then we've got the front end that's supposed to fold out and become, there we go. So that becomes feet. And then we have the tail end of the vehicle, which folds around. You see how that goes like that, and it goes like that to become the chest. And now you have the roof of the vehicle splits, and those are the arms. And once again, they've got these really, really little delicate elbow joints that don't really like to hold together. So, and there we have him. Oh, and you know, we got there. So we got a little dude, and it's a hard thing. Allergies too. This time of night, I get allergies. Don't know why. Blame it on Pennsylvania. So, oh wait, one more move. Almost forgot. These, you have to pivot at the waist. So you pivot at the waist. There we go. All right. So let's put him over there, and then, whoops. Okay, stand up. Nope. You can stand up. You're supposed to stand up. Come on, stand up. There we go. There we go. Okay, so... Oh, come on. Why are they not cooperating? It's almost like I've been talking crap on them for the last 10 minutes. There. Okay, so you have these guys, and they've got hip joints, and they've got elbow joints, and they've got involved little transformation schemes, and it seems like they should be just such a cool little set. But the thing is that they're overcomplicated, and having a lot of little friction joints and snap together joints is not really working to their advantage. This is a case where the original Micromasters were put together mostly with rivets and pins that had a like a little burr on one end of the pin, and they would go in and dig into the plastic and hold it, and you just don't take them apart. You know, they're just too small. You don't take them apart, but they're tight little joints, and you know, sure, they only had arms that moved like this, and a lot of times their legs were moving in tandem, but they held together better. And with the mini cons, I said it again, darn it, here, I'm just gonna drink. Here. With the cons, they, at least with these earlier ones, they were trying to give us more posability. And they were trying to give us that Transformers experience in a smaller package, but with a fully featured toy. But at that scale, it just isn't working. It just isn't working. And you can see that kind of playing out even with these knockoffs. So we've got this guy, and he looks good in his car mode. You know, that's a good looking car. And then we expand his his front, you know, pull up the legs, and we've got the feet things that pull out, and then they pivot like that. And then you've got these door panels that fold around to kind of make the back of the legs. And then you've got the back that folds around to make the chest. And oh, there we go. And then we've actually got some tight shoulders here. There we go. And then we swivel at the waist. And bam, we have the guy. And notice that on this guy, what they did was they just drove a pin through his hips. Now, at this scale, they probably could have made those ball joints work if they were interested in really making a quality toy. The plastic feels cheap. It feels floppy. It feels brittle. I haven't broken it yet, so that's good. But there you have, and notice for some reason he has one yellow leg and one blue leg. But this guy actually he works better as a big guy. He just works better as a big guy. But it is absolutely, you know, you look next to this guy, and this guy, you know, the original whatever con, Thingacon, I'm gonna say Thingacon, Spiral, he looks like he's inebriated and can't hold his parts together. Yeah, the larger knockoff version actually looks better, although cheap. It does look cheap. You know, the bright yellow doesn't work nearly as nicely as the dark gray. But so you have that. You have this is, let's see. Trying to think. So this one is the backtrack. They've done it in black, which black works well for the Cadillac. Okay, let me keep it in car mode. So, you know, that's a decent looking car. It looks like a cheap toy. It definitely looks like a cheap toy. But nonetheless, it's an okay mold. It's not bad. And it is a cheap toy, so it's okay for it to look like a cheap toy. So we're gonna pull his feet out and pull his legs out, and we're gonna pivot those feet forward, and then I kind of like that you can see how the joints work. And come on, yeah, we'll put those up like that, and then we'll fold that down there. And this is a guy that he would be awesome if they had just put some tolerances in here. He is so loosey-goosey. He doesn't want to hold into any position. His shoulders don't want to stay up. But nonetheless, that's not a bad robot mode. Let me try and... So, there we got... You know, he's got separate legs, but yeah, this guy... He's kind of fun just because it's exactly the same engineering as this, except made larger, but very, very wonky, which, you know what, his small counterpart isn't much better. But Backtrack can hold himself up where Big Track cannot. See what I did there? I called him Big Track because he's Backtrack and he's Big Track. And so, yeah, I was playing off the names there. And anyway, so and then we get to this guy, and he's, you know, again. Now I like the car mode. Yeah, that looks really good. And it seems like that's totally legit. I've seen some of the Transformers Prime figures that didn't look as good as this guy. And then we're going to pull out the legs. Well, one leg seems to pull out more than another. That's really unusual. Oh, there we go. Okay, so that pulls out like that. Now, at this scale, this transformation scheme works much, much better. So now we can take this and it just pegs in, which the other one does too. It just doesn't work very well. And then you have the sides here and the elbow joints, which actually do hold on. And then you have the head flip up. Now this one, I mean, that's great. You know, he looks good. He feels solid. Yeah, he definitely looks like a cheap version, but actually he's pretty good. And so I'm completely willing to accept this guy as a large version of this guy. Or, you know, at least a second cousin. Maybe a first cousin. Yeah, he's a first cousin. Yeah, he's a larger first cousin. They're related on their mother's side. I don't know where I'm going with this. But nonetheless, so, you know, you got this one, and I would say this one, this is the winner of the group. This absolutely is the winner of the group. And it makes me sad that you just can't find things like this. You can't go into Big Lots anymore and find little gems like these. Because the nice thing is, okay, you know, you get one of these and he's all loosey-goosey and it's like, you know, that's not very good, but maybe I could tighten him up with some super glue. I could kit bash him, whatever. It's good fodder for that sort of stuff. And you get this one, and it's like, oh, okay, you know, it kind of works. It's kind of okay. It's weird. He's got some strange colors, but okay. And then you get a gem like this, and it's like, oh, wow, that one works really, really well. And you know that you paid like $3 for each one of these. And you can't do that anymore. Now when you go into Big Lots, they have the Hasbro cheap versions of their toys. And you have the Hasbro Grimlock that you have to take the tail off in order to transform him. Or the Hasbro Jetfire that's all hollow on the inside and has, you know, shoulder joints, and that's all. I'm sorry, but Hasbro, I'm just throwing out an opinion here, but I feel like when Hasbro's making their own knockoffs, because that's effectively what it is. You know, they've got their economy Transformers for retailers like that, for Family Dollars and Big Lots and places like that, so they can have officially licensed Transformers stuff and not be getting knockoffs. And that started as, you know, it seemed like overnight the knockoffs disappeared from Big Lots and you started getting the Transformers versions, which were more expensive, but they were crappy toys. You know, they were still cheap toys, but at a higher price point, but they were official Transformers toys. And I feel like Hasbro is doing themselves a disservice by manufacturing these cheap versions of their characters. And I understand they're controlling their IP, and they're, you know, I understand why they're doing it, but what they're also doing is they're diminishing the reputation of their brand. Now, when I go to the store and I see something that has a Transformers logo on it, yeah, sure, it's pretty obvious that it's when it's the cheap version, but kids don't know. Kids don't know. You know, a little kid in a store, he just sees cool robot toy, but if cool robot toy is unsatisfactory and not that much fun and not that cool looking, then all kid remembers is, oh yeah, I got a Transformer and it wasn't very good. I didn't like it. So I'd argue that it might actually be better when Hasbro was letting these third-party companies make their own cheap knockoff versions that weren't as good. And yeah, they were copying the molds from stuff that wasn't on store shelves anymore. That's the thing, and I think that that's one of the reasons why Hasbro doesn't pursue this stuff a lot more vigorously. Like, it doesn't really lose them anything if on AliExpress I can buy a set of Power of the Prime's Dinobots when Hasbro is no longer selling Power of the Prime's Dinobots. Now, I would see it being a big problem if I started making the decision, well, I know that it's going to get knocked off, so I'm just going to wait. I'm not going to buy the Hasbro version. I'll wait until it... Okay, that would be bad. But I don't do that. I don't think that you do that either. Because, obviously, the fact that you will see scalpers buying stuff when it first comes out overseas and buying up all of it and then selling it for 5 times the retail value on eBay, you know, people are willing to pay a lot of money to get the real one and get it right now. So, yeah, moving on. So, we're going to move to one of my favorite things. This is our last thing for the night, and there's more stuff in the. You know, if you had fun with this, let us know in the comments. Oh, you think I should do Fortress Maximus? Okay. Well, spoiler alert, we're doing Fortress Maximus. So this is also one of my favorite things. This is a knockoff that was done in I think in Korea. I think we read that this was from a knockoff company in Korea. And I love this. I love this so much. I need to kind of rearrange things a little bit so that you can see it properly. All right, we're gonna change that. So there we go. And we'll move things around here. And wait for it. There it is. So this, here, let me make sure that all the ramps are out. So this is a lovingly miniaturized version of Transformers Gen 1 Fortress Maximus. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I love this guy. Yeah, I'm missing a gun on the leg, but that's okay, and you'll see why in just a minute. So it never had a little clear canopy at the top. I don't know why, but you know, maybe they just didn't wanna. But you know, they copied everything else. You know, they've got the steps here. It doesn't have the little gate on top. That's another thing that they omitted from the design. But it's got the guns under here. It's got the slide panels, you know, these little ramp things, so that, you know, you can presumably launch little mini-cons. They don't slide very freely, but they do. It does not have the working elevator, but it has the ramps here. You know, it's so we got that, and he looks great. His colors are really, really nice. You can pivot this out. You've got the little clear thing. There we go. So we got the clear thing that goes right there. I mean, it is a loving reproduction. Whoever did the engineering on this did an amazing job of copying the likeness of the original. And, you know, even to the point where they even put in the little crank here, but it no longer cranks. So, you know, it's represented, but it's not there. And Osaka Jack says, Tiny Fortress Maximus, Fortress Minimus. I think it is. So, you know, a toast to Osaka Jack, Fortress Minimus. Oh, shit. Oh, shoot. Fortress Mess. He got me to say it. Oh. That's twice. You got me twice. A toast to Osaka Jack. How did I not see that? So yeah, we've got him, and I'm gonna transform him for you. So we close up the side here, we close up the side here, we fold out the buildings to make the legs. Oh, that's a little bit stuck. There we go. Tight joints. And then we'll go out this way, and then go down that way, and so that gives us our legs. And then we'll pivot them like that. And see, they even have the little panels down here that open and close to allow, you know, like a micro-con. It's actually too small for Micromasters, but you know, they've got the openings that go there. So yeah, you put those in there, and then you have the tower, which splits. Oh, but it's really stuck. It's really stuck. Okay, wait here. I've got my little. The engineering for the tower is just a little bit off. It doesn't quite want to go together the way that it's supposed to. But boy, the the little pegs that hold it together are tight. So there we go. And then that just swings around the sides like that. And then you've even got the guns that come out of the sides. And then you fold up the ramps here and here, rotate the arms down, and you have the shoulders like that. And then you can close that and close that. And you've got this little bit that can close there, and that little bit that closes there. And then you fold this ramp, and then you can close that panel. And there was... somewhere I have the little plastic head that you add, because they didn't make it a headmaster. They just had the head that plugged in. But I've got a solution for that. And see, this is something here. I'm going to show you some of the cool things. So they even have these little doors on his arms that reveal more guns. Now these guns don't pivot out, but they've got these guns here, and they've got these guns here that pivot out, and so they've got these guns here, and so he's got almost all of the features of the huge toy that I had when I was a kid. But what's funny about this is that in the Marvel comic for the Headmasters, Fortress Maximus was the same size as the other Autobot Headmasters. And then in the issue where they were introduced into the regular Transformers comic, it starts with this panel where they're reassembling Fortress Maximus after doing an enlargement on him, where they essentially doubled his size and added Cerebros. In the original Marvel comic Headmasters series, Gallon, the leader of the good Nebulons, transformed directly into the head of Fortress Maximus. But it was wonky because they would sometimes show the head looking like Fortress Maximus's head, and sometimes it would be shown looking like the Cerebros head, which you might remember from the original Transformers cartoon. And so, yeah, depending on which panel it was, it seemed to flip back and forth. And then, yes, Rob S. says fork-tongue maxi face, which is what Grimlock called him. Rob, you are a font of knowledge. I'm glad that you got that reference. So, yes, toast to Rob. And when I was a kid, I always thought it would be so cool to have a Fortress Maximus that was that scale, because when Fortress Maximus, I had Fortress Maximus, and his head turned into Cerebros, or his head transformed into Cerebros, and then the head of Cerebros was Spike. Well, in the toy, Cerebros's head, which was Spike, looked like a little Fortress Maximus head. Now, the more recent Fortress Maximus, I've got his Cerebros head right here, and it looks like Cerebros's head from the TV show and from the comics, which is very, very different. But since I had... And I ended up having two Fortress Maximuses because when I was in 9th grade, my house, there was a fire in my house, and my Transformers were all stained and smoke damaged, and then I actually made things worse. That's not it. That is an Ultra Magnus head. And then I made things worse by trying to clean them by soaking them in bleach water, and it just ruined the stickers and caused the screws to rust. It was bad. and I got my parents gave me a little bit of money for my stuff, and the one thing there's a couple things that I bought. One was an Amiga 500 computer, and the other thing that I got was a new Fortress Maximus, because it was the jewel of my collection. I was so happy to have Fortress Maximus because you didn't see him anywhere, and he was the biggest transformer ever at that time. And so I hated that my Fortress Maximus had been ruined in the fire. So I got a second one, and so then I kit bashed my Spike, my old Spike, to have a more Cerebros looking head so that it would be show and comic book accurate. But I always thought it would be cool to have a little Fortress Maximus that was in scale. So when I saw that these existed, I got 2 of them, and then I kit bashed one so that it could have my Cerebros head, which, as you can see, looks like Fortress Maximus. So look at that. That is a Headmaster Fortress Maximus. This would be the Marvel comic version that would transform into Gallon, the Nebulon leader from the Marvel comic of that period. So that is what I did. So Osaka Jack says, so what you're saying is you had a rare battle damaged Fort Max. Sure. Yes, that's exactly it. So yeah, and I also kit bashed this to give him like pivoting shoulders, which doesn't work great. I used wires to attach them, and they sort of work, but it's not great. It was one of my earlier kit bashes, and I never got around to giving him knee joints, and I'm not sure that I regret that, considering the job that I did on the shoulders. So, but nonetheless, so that is little Fortress Maximus, and see, now that I've got a modern Cerebros head, I could, sort of put that on here and make it look like what some of the panels of the Marvel comic looked like when, depending on, I don't know what was going on. There was confusion as to what his head was supposed to look like. But, but yeah, that is my knockoff small version of Fortress Maximus. Love this toy. I love this toy, and I'm so glad that I got him when I could. And if I ever found these again, I'd pick up 2 more. That they're just such cool things. And see, that's why it doesn't break my heart that I don't have they are somewhere. That set of guns is somewhere, and it'll go back in, but I don't have it right now. So that is little Fortress Maximus, and so that's a lot of little guys, like small fries and big little guys. Size in the Transformers universe is weird, and when you take it into the world of third-party toys and knockoffs and stuff like that, it only gets weirder. And I feel like, I'm not, oh gosh, I've got mixed feelings. Because, of course, I don't want to take away from the hard work of the original, the people that are originally developing the intellectual property. Okay, the people at Takara, the people at Hasbro, the people who are tirelessly working on this stuff and constantly creating new content for us every single year. Okay, they absolutely, they've worked, and if they've worked for their experience, they've worked for their sales, they've worked for their intellectual property. They deserve to get rewarded for that. At the same time, I miss being able to go into Big Lots and Family Dollar and get that, you know, that complete set of the Protectabots that are straight up just knockoffs of the original, all as a package for $10. I miss being able to get large, absurd versions of Minicon toys. Oh, I said it again. And Micromasters at scaled up sizes, and they even scaled up the wall thicknesses, so you've got this chunky toy that you could throw across the room and it'll survive because it's now twice the thickness, although the plastic's so cheap that it might still explode. You know, I miss that. There was something fun and rewarding about these complete oddities that you don't get now, unless, I guess, you have to order it online if you want to get, like, you know, a bunch of that stuff from AliExpress. I've discovered like 2 left arms and 2 right legs on my Dinobots and stuff like that, where, you know, just crazy manufacturing flaws and quality control errors and stuff like that kind of reminds me of that. But you know, I know it's a complicated issue, and I don't really have a clear standing on it. I guess that's it. I'm coming down and I'm saying definitively that I don't know. I just don't know. And then you have things like third-party companies that are doing awesome things like Warbitron and like Green Giant and Hercules and those Monstructor guys, you know, which I will own that at some point, even after I build my own. But yeah, and I feel like those guys are pushing Hasbro. They're saying, hey, look at what we're doing. And then Hasbro's like, well, they just raised the bar on what we have to do. So, yeah, you know, it's complicated. It's just complicated. So that's it. I really hope that you guys had as much fun as I did with Small Fries and Big Little Guys. And we've got more stuff. So let us know if you liked this topic, because we hope to revisit it with, you know, I've like I said, I've got more stuff here. We just ran out of time because I was talking too much. So of course we are a small channel trying to get bigger. So if you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe, click the notification bell so that you know when we're doing these live streams, which typically happen on Friday nights at 8 o'clock Eastern United States time, and our Short Circuits videos, which usually happen during the week. We try to get at least 2 of those up a week, sometimes more, sometimes less. But, of course, if you have an online presence and you're talking to other people that like old toys and like weird stuff, please send them our way, invite them to the channel, tell them to show up in the chat so that we can toast them and help them to be a part of our community here, because that would be cool. So next Friday, Dawn Brickwode, Dawn, my friend and co-host, is back, and we're gonna be keeping things small with 2 famous pint-sized battlers from the 80s. We've got Muscle Things versus, you know, these guys. The Battle Beasts. So yes, we've got muscle things and battle beasts, and it's gonna be fun. It's just gonna be fun. It's gonna be weird. This is gonna be a weird one, and I know that our live streams are normally so normal, but yeah, it should be a lot of fun. So, with all that being said, a toast to Rob S. A toast to Dawn. A toast to Joy. A toast to Collini. A toast to Starhound. A toast to Connie. A toast to Nathan. A toast to Lyric. A toast to Cadence. A toast to Hope. A toast to Retro Robot Radio. A toast to Asher. A toast to Mike. A toast to the Machiavellic. And a toast to Osaka Jack. And I guess a toast to Mega Mouse here. Because one thing's for sure, she sure ain't Minnie. This is Clay telling you to wait, here, I gotta grab my mouse. Not this mouse, my other mouse. You know how hard it is to do this with a 7 foot tall thing in your lap? Okay, so here we go. We got it. Okay, so this is Clay and Mega Mouse telling you to keep it retro bots. That's right. Keeping it retro, but oh my gosh, that thing's huge. Oh boy. And I still said mini again, so wait here. You might be able to hear this. Oh, and Perry Viking is here. Wait a minute. Okay, going back. Perry Viking. So a toast to Perry Viking for being here. And a toast to Perry Viking, because we're closing. And now, I guess this one's for you, Perry Viking. Keep it retro bots. Whew. Yeah. Oh, man. I'm done. That was perfect. Where are my chicken wings?